Project Sapient is a podcast meant to engage our brothers and sisters in the law enforcement and military communities in conversations that we all know we need to have. All opinions you'll hear are our own, are protected by our First Amendment of the United States Constitution, and in no way reflect or are meant to reflect the opinion of any specific agency, officer, or service member. Some opinions may be controversial. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy. Hi, Ayman.
Hello, hello.
Project Sapient, guys.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We want to thank everybody.
Yeah.
Thousands of listeners. Everybody's subscribing to our YouTube channel. Check us out, Project Sapient. We want to thank our supporters, HavokJournal.com, GymJunkies.com, VectorShields.com, WellnessForWarriors.live. We love those ladies. LiveBoston617.org. And we have a new one, Eagle Eye Firearms Mass.
Badass.
Yes, our friend Otis just opened up his store there. EagleEyeFirearmsMA.com. You can follow them on Facebook. Otis is one of those guys. He's been a weapon expert for like the last 20 years. So if anybody needs anything in Massachusetts especially, give him a call.
Yeah.
So, Ayman, how are you, my friend?
What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Well, you know, the usual stuff. The darkness and what else? I don't know.
Darkness and
Whatever.
fucking death
I'm
and...
done. That's it. I'm okay. Good show, guys.
Good shows. See you later. We're all done.
Yeah, we're all done.
Hey, we want to, again, thank everybody. The thousands of listeners that we're getting is just
God.
unbelievable from all over the world.
Just, I'm still dumbfounded that France is like up there.
One more thing, we're going to be doing a swag thing. I've had like 5 people in the last week ask me if we're going to be selling swag.
Yeah.
So we got to figure that out.
Yeah.
We'll get it out there. We obviously don't want to make money from this shit.
Yeah,
So
no,
we'll figure that out
Yeah,
logistically.
we'll find a what do you call it? A
vendor
or a charity to give to.
Yeah.
You know, we'll figure all
We'll
that
figure
out.
all that out.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't make us go broke.
Yeah, let's front load.
We've been front loading everything else. So
Yeah,
we're doing this
exactly.
out of the kindness of our hearts, right?
Yes.
Wellness for Warriors, they've been getting people that have been calling them that know us, that don't know us, that have heard us from the show. So if you guys, by all means, if you need any kind of help from nutrition to sleep to even just talking to somebody and getting peer support, like call them up.
Yeah.
So
They're a phone call away. Literally.
phone call away, literally, and they're life changing.
Yep.
They do it from their hearts. So we have an awesome article that Ayman posted April 1st. It's caused a little bit of a stir. And there it is. Tell me about it, brother.
All right. So cops. So it's titled "Cops Filled the Breach Left by Our Bad
Breacher up?
Policies." Yeah. Yeah. That's.
Oh, no,
first
that's
thing-
not it.
No. Stop it. All right.
All right.
So by our bad policy. So with all the bad press, how police are getting treated, and it is very reminiscent to a time not too long ago that the same exact, well, shouldn't say same exact, it was different era, but a similar type of thing was going on. And I think you posted, I posted 2 pictures to depict these types of things. So why don't we put the 2 pictures up?
That one?
Yes. So, 2 pictures, 2 different time periods in America. The top one, Vietnam War.
60s, right. 60s, 70s.
70s, yeah, Vietnam War, right? Bottom picture, today, with law enforcement. 60s was this anti-military sentiment, military are all assholes, you kill babies, blah, blah, blah. Police, you're assholes, you kill babies, you kill only black men, blah, 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 blah.
So it's basically the same narrative.
Eerily similar.
But with just different things plugged in.
Yeah.
Right?
All they did, it seems like all they did is take the stuff from Vietnam and then replace it with police.
It's like a template.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fucking template.
Exactly. So
brilliant marketing.
So, no, here's the marketing expert over here. Was that brilliant marketing? I love it.
I'm gonna use this.
Yeah. So I started to, again. We already discussed about the 2 pictures, and my God, how much it resembles what's going on today with law enforcement.
Yeah.
I mean, how, like, back then, right, Vietnam veterans, my father-in-law, he's a Vietnam veteran, never said to anybody that he's a veteran because of
He didn't want the backlash.
he didn't want the backlash.
Okay.
Did not go to the VA because how veterans were being treated back in that time era.
He wouldn't go get treatment for himself?
No. He finally is getting some treatment after lots of talks with him from me. He's finally going to address a lot of his issues that happened to him in Vietnam now.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how bad they were treated.
That's fucking sad, man.
Yeah. And it's not like they had a choice.
Right.
The draft was still going on. Policymakers above their pay grade said, you're going to go fight over there.
Right.
And as soldiers, what we do, yep, all right, roger that.
Followed orders.
Yeah,
right.
Roger that, gonna go fight. And it was like me going to Iraq, right? Whatever you thought about the war, whatever, to me, yep, country called, I gotta go, I'm going. But I'm not going because of the policies of the country. I'm going for my guys.
Exactly.
I'm not going for them. The most realist statement I've ever heard, it was in Black Hawk Down and other movies that said, and it is very real that when bullets start flying by your head, whatever bullshit you felt is out the window.
Out the window.
It doesn't matter at that point. So the reason why I wrote this article during an episode of the Weekly Havok, I'm a writer for the Havok Journal. They invited me on.
Great
talk.
show, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're at 4 or 5 episodes now, and all awesome.
Yeah,
awesome stuff.
Kind of like us.
Yeah, well, hey, they got to learn it from someone, right? Just kidding, friends.
No, guys, thank you at Havok. Thank you very much.
So the host, Chris Taylor, nice guy, solid guy, made a statement that got me thinking at the time. He said, and I'm summarizing his quote. He said, police officers are being treated how Vietnam veterans were treated during and after the Vietnam War.
Yep.
So to our listeners, think about it for a second. Both are victims of a failure in policy.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a complete failure in policy.
The difference is they wear uniforms. They're out in public as in police.
Right.
Instead, most politicians pick and choose when they want to engage with the public.
Yep.
That's all it is. Like, marketing expert, when do they want to do it?
What do you mean?
When shit goes bad.
Oh, yeah. It's the easiest way to hook somebody.
Oh, yeah.
It's a hook. That's all it is.
You see it.
Yeah.
Everybody. You know what it reminds me of? Which we've talked about before. You know what? With house fires.
Yeah.
All those fucking vultures that arrive
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
The jackals, man.
Yeah.
They surround surround the area.
Yeah, they surround the family. They surround the area. They try to get the families to sign on the dotted line without even knowing. The family has no idea what they're signing.
Right.
And we, as police and firefighters, are like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
But it's the same thing here, right?
Yeah.
Like they see something going on. They circle around. The vultures come out. from every angle.
Oh, every angle.
Right. And then they're like, all right, how do we manipulate this?
Oh,
it's like that saying, never let a good you know what I'm trying to say?
I have no idea.
Never let like a good controversy go to waste or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So let's fast forward a little. When I first came home from Iraq, I landed in the U.S. For my 2-week leave from war back in 2005. They give you 2 weeks off.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember standing at the airport. This is here at home.
Yeah.
And no, it's all right. And I was in my desert uniform, the called DCUs, desert camouflage uniform. And this woman, older, smug, looked at me.
I could picture her.
Scoffed.
Does she have like a Karen fucking haircut?
Oh,
too?
Absolutely. She said, "Baby killer."
You're a baby killer.
Yeah, she said, "I'm a baby killer." And this is like Iraq, 2005 while I was there. So it wasn't like during the 60s or 70s during the Vietnam War.
What does that show you though?
Oh, it hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed. That's how she grew up.
Yeah.
It just shows you we got to be good parents to our kids, man.
Well, first, I mean, clearly her dad never hugged her.
Exactly.
And secondly, I already assumed she's from the Republic over the bridge.
Yes,
you know what
the People's
is.
Republic.
The People's Republic. You know what it is. Fellow Mass, you guys know. You
know
guys
exactly what we're
you
talking
guys
about.
know what we're talking about. And post on the comments, actually. If you know, when we post this, if you know exactly what we're talking about, post in the comments where you think that's.
I'm sure everybody's going to get it right.
Oh, yeah. That'll be awesome.
I was going to say, let's offer a t-shirt to the first person, but everybody's going to fucking do it.
I know. We're going to have like 400 comments of everybody saying the same thing. Sorry, we're out.
We're out.
But anyway, so back to the article. So for the most part, though, global war on terrorism veterans are truly loved and hailed as heroes. For the most part. I remember landing in Atlanta. That's kind of one of the hubs for soldiers coming back. And we had a standing ovation. People were like thanking us, shaking our hands. I mean, it was so different.
Awesome.
So different. It felt great, and it's like the Vietnam veterans didn't get any of that.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't come home to fanfare. When they came home in uniform, they were ridiculed. They were spit at. They were chased.
Why the difference, though, between then and now?
Education. People realizing back then and now, leading up, that it wasn't the soldiers that went over there willingly.
Right.
It was bad policy that was set in place as a result of politicians.
So people were looking into things more this time?
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to reducing friction.
Yep.
Right? Like, as much as the media tries to reduce friction and generalize things, I say it all the time, a Pepsi commercial.
Yeah.
Right? They try and limit everything to a 30-second sound bit just to induce and invoke emotion.
The media jumped on that train of support the troops. That's all you see.
And, we also live in the age, you say education, but we live in the age of knowledge where you could pick up your phone, do some research, and see what the hell's really going on. Back then, there wasn't any of that.
No, there wasn't any of that.
You believed what you were told.
Exactly. So now you have the media, certain politicians and groups paint a broad picture at the time of the media, of the Vietnam War, just like a broad picture that has been painted on law enforcement.
Yep.
Same exact, like you said, all they did was take a template from Vietnam and just were like, let's use it here.
Plugged it in.
And plugged it right in. And so there's a saying, if you tell a lie long enough, it becomes truth.
Yeah.
How real is that?
Yeah, you start believing it yourself, first of all.
Again, it's that confirmation bias that we've talked about before.
Exactly.
Is that if you think that all cops are assholes, everything you're going to read and want to read is to confirm your own bias.
It's a step further than the confirmation bias, right? There's the algorithms on social media.
That too. They see
what you're
clicking.
And they're going to base everything just to get you to keep more engagement.
By the way, just speaking of social media, the way they are, there's a setting in Facebook or somewhere in there where, depending on what you read, whatever, apparently I'm an ultra conservative because I'm a cop and a veteran.
Yeah. Can I tell you a quick story about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So back in the early days of Facebook marketing, right, it was baptism by fire for me, and I did very well with it. One day, like a year into it, it was doing fucking extremely well. I was spending a ton of money on it. It was doing well. And one day, all the ad sets that I have, there were specific targets and this and that. I mean, it's marketing, so I have no problem admitting to it. Everything just shut down. And I was like, what the hell just happened? Now I'm thinking, okay, my business is going to go out the window, right? Like I'm screwed. I'm spending all this money. No ads are reaching where I want them to reach. So I ended up doing a lot of research and, forums and all that stuff. And what had happened, long story short, what had happened was the Facebook algorithm started almost becoming alive. Okay. And it was one of those moments like 5-6 years ago where all the geeks, people like me too, were like, holy shit, is this the Skynet moment?
Well, yeah. I mean,
right?
That's the thing. Yeah.
But what it had done was it started grouping, and you could look this up, just Google this.
Oh, yeah.
It started grouping anything to do with law enforcement into the Nazi party.
No shit.
On its own.
Yeah.
On its own, it started making correlations between how people were commenting on, a Police One article or whatever. I'm not singling them out, but you know what I mean? Like you and I would go comment on it.
Yeah.
it would start, the algorithm start putting it all together, and it made anything to do with law enforcement into the Nazi party.
Wow.
And so there's $1 million advertisers on Facebook for law enforcement. They were in an uproar, nothing like small little me.
Yeah.
They were in an uproar, and Facebook ended up fixing it like 4 days later. Like all these brilliant engineers and stuff like that. It took them 4 days.
Yeah.
But the point is, social media still uses these algorithms.
Yeah, yeah.
And will still base your entire life, from your Google histories to your Facebooks to your Instagrams to your Oculus to your
whatever.
Name it.
Yeah. Everything is that. Yeah.
And it's going to guide you.
Yeah.
What I have seen, not to get into a crazy tangent, but what I have seen is starting to use other platforms for like Google searches. They're not Google searches. Like DuckDuckGo. You ever hear DuckDuckGo?
Yep.
I've been using DuckDuck for probably 3 months now, and I'm starting to see a big difference in my advertising. Big difference in the advertising. What I'm getting personally.
Yeah.
You know, so I can now research all this stuff and not be afraid of getting bombarded with Facebook advertisement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's very true. And you know, that's the thing with you believe a lie, you know, it becomes truth. In this case, for cops are racist. Cops are bigots.
We are.
Cops are target.
Yep.
Cops target only people of color. Cops only kill people of color.
Of course.
And the list goes on.
Yeah. It's all true.
It's a huge list that continues. And let's look at how Vietnam veterans were treated. Public, they're treated now. The public has realized that veterans, the Vietnam veterans, were only doing their jobs.
Now they realize it.
The public shifted their focus to the politicians of the time and the failed policies that were put in place, which, you know, I said that a little bit ago. You know, that's the difference between the 4 Vietnam veterans back then and today.
But let me ask you, and I'm sure you've had the conversation with, you said, what is it, your father-in-law?
Yeah, father-in-law.
Just like you, when you went to war, it didn't matter what you thought.
No.
Right? You just went, you were following orders, you were doing what you needed to do for your brothers and sisters, right?
Yep.
With all of this knowledge, the ability to get knowledge.
Yeah.
Back then, your father-in-law had no idea whatever the politician was telling him.
Yeah.
He had no other source of knowledge on it.
Not really. I mean,
so they sold everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much, you know, and you know, so let's fast forward to today. All right. So I found an article written by ex-mayor of Minneapolis, Betsy Hodges.
Betsy.
And her quotes in this article, I remember clearly one officer, a middle-aged white man who is now a sergeant with the department, looking me dead in the eye and cursing me out in front of the entire room. I needed to take a walk in their shoes, he said, peppering his insults with profanity so that I could know what it's like. He complained of protesters calling us names, getting in our faces, throwing objects at officers, and you're letting them, he said. The not fully said bottom line of his message was clear. White liberals like me asked the police to do our dirty work, dealing with the racial and economic inequalities our policies create. Normally, we turn a blind eye to the harsh methods that many of them use to achieve our goal of order, pretend that isn't what we've done, and then act surprised when their tough guy behavior goes viral and gets renewed. Whatever else you want to say about police officers, they know, whether they articulate it neatly or not, that we are asking them to step into a breach left by our bad policies. The creation of more just systems won't guarantee the prevention of atrocities, but the status quo in cities, created by white liberals, invites brutal policing. I mean, talk about a light bulb that went off in her head.
Yeah, no shit.
Right? I mean, when I read that, I was like, holy shit, she gets it.
She actually gets it.
Yeah. Well, she got it after the fact, but the light bulb went off because you know what? She, as a mayor, I'll give her kudos. She actually went right to the police department and said, what are the issues?
Well, that's exactly what we talk about, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have these politicians, let's not get into the leadership fucking discussion, right?
Elected officials.
The elected officials. We have these politicians that just, for some reason, think that they're very smart because they got elected.
And they know more.
And they know more. Yeah. You know better than me. I think I told you the situation I had with somebody at a state level here.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember talking to him and going, you know better than I do.
Yeah.
You're going to deny this because you know better than I do. Explain to me how you know better? And he was like, well, I have my degree and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's great. Congratulations. Your wall must look fucking awesome. But how do you know better than I do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
and it was like a real life, real world situation.
Yeah.
She actually dove into it.
Yeah.
Kudos to this woman.
Again, great job.
Yeah.
She actually went to dig in and see what's going on.
Guys, everywhere around the country, tell people about this. It's very simple what she did.
Oh, yeah.
She went to the department. She said, what are the problems?
Yep.
Kudos, man.
I
wow.
mean, and it took, the police telling her what she fucked up on.
She listened.
And she listened and realized she had that moment of clarity.
That's an elected official.
Yeah.
That's the whole concept.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, when you go listen to the people who elected you, I mean, police, we vote. We vote, right? We vote.
Yeah, we vote based on what we see, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, she said it perfectly. Certain policies and laws created by politicians put the police in a situation of, instead of building community relationships, they force police to be the hammer rather than just true peace officers.
This is a liberal woman?
No, this is what I said.
Oh, okay.
But,
okay.
Just interpreting what she said. Listen, I'm smart too. I just caught that.
No, what I was trying to say was, it was obvious that it came from you after, right? But it was like almost dumbfounded that it came from her. Thinking that it came from her, I was holy shit.
Listen, there are times I black out and I say really smart things.
I'm smart.
And it happens.
I call it my Rain Man moments.
Oh, well, I have those moments too. So I'm
sorry. Are you hurt?
I'm cut a little. Let me fight the tears and regroup.
Keep going.
So they forced police to be the hammer rather than true peace officers. During the Justice Department investigation into the Ferguson Police Department, get this, right? Here's a quote. City officials have consistently set maximizing revenue as the priority for Ferguson's law enforcement activity. City and police leadership pressure officers to write citations independent of any public safety need and rely on citation productivity to fund the city budget. How fucking terrible is that? Probably ridiculous. Here's my thing. I mean, so our friends at Supply the Y, one of the episodes that he had, by the way, subscribe to Supply the Y also, fellas, folks. And the host, Dean, is great dude, Dean Jenkins. He's a sergeant.
I've known him for a long time.
Solid individual, and really has great topics to talk about. Everything, ranging from policing to social issues, whatever.
Yeah.
One thing he had a guest on, I forget the guest's name, but he said something I thought it was phenomenal. He said, it may be lawful, but it's awful.
Yeah, wow.
You know what? Like,
right.
Us cops know that.
Yeah.
Like, we know there's certain laws. Yeah, I'm not going to fucking enforce.
Well, you have discretion, right?
But talk about a city that took away the discretion of the officers.
And was forcing them.
Illegal.
Was forcing them.
Like
quotas, almost.
Exactly. Which is illegal, last time I checked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in an email from March 2010, the finance director wrote to Chief Jackson, who was the chief at the time, that unless ticket writing ramps up significantly before the end of the year, it will be hard to significantly raise collections next year. What are your thoughts? Given that we are looking at a substantial sales tax shortfall, it's not an insignificant issue. Chief Jackson responded that the city would see an increase in fines once more officers were hired, and that he could target the $1.5 million forecast. Like, really?
Let me play devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
From a business perspective,
yes,
I see what was the finance director?
Yeah.
He's a finance director. So he's looking at things black and white, right? As ridiculous as it is what he said, I kind of get what he's saying. He's a finance director, and he's looking at his bottom line, black and white.
Yep.
Right. But again, he needs to put himself into the proper lane.
Well, here's the thing. Policing
Right.
is never, ever, ever a revenue generating.
It should never, ever be.
Entity of the government.
But clearly here it is.
If you want your parking clerks to write more fines, that's their fucking job.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you want them to do that shit, they can do that shit all day.
Right.
Police, that's not what we're there for.
But here's the thing, right? You get into certain areas where, okay, quotas are illegal.
Yep.
But do you not get the leadership that comes down and says, hey, how's your
stats.
productivity?
Yeah,
you got your stats.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you need to write tickets, but you need to write tickets. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
So, okay, what happens when I'm in an area that fucking people drive great?
Yeah.
Or people park great?
Yeah.
Or what am I going to make shit up?
Yeah.
Like, people don't see how that can fuel something bad.
Oh, yeah. My previous agency became just that.
Really?
Revenue generating. My previous agency. Revenue generating.
That's
because
ridiculous.
For whatever reason, again, horrible policy, horrible thing to do to a law enforcement agency to force their hand against the public.
It's exactly what it is. It's forcing their hand.
Yeah. And shame on the police leadership for allowing that.
Well, police leadership is different than elected leadership, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's legitimate leadership.
Yeah.
Like, you're the boss. You can tell me what to do.
Yeah.
So, and I get in some parts of the country that they're elected, like the sheriffs are elected and stuff like that, which I think should be a prerequisite for all of policing.
Yeah.
I don't like the whole appointment system.
Yeah. No.
For leadership.
Yeah.
Because we know how that corruption, being from the area that we're in,
oh yeah,
we know how that corruption can make, hey, Billy Bob, my buddy, I'm going to make him the fucking chief.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's truly, I mean, I would love to have elected, it'd be, it's kind of one of those things where you'll set the stage.
Things will change.
So back to the article. So when a major incident occurs, because of poor policies, politicians quickly point the finger at who? The police, the military, whoever they decide is the scapegoat. I mean, let's be real for a minute. On a national level, statistics show that 120 negative police videos are posted in a year. 120.
Are you at the bottom part of this?
Where are you?
Significantly, Chief Jackson stated.
Oh, yeah, no. So go down.
Further down. Okay.
Yeah, next paragraph.
Okay.
Basically. So on a national level, statistics show 120 negative police videos are posted in a year. In 1 year, though, it is estimated that there are approximately, which I'm like, oh my God, which again, that it is possible because just thinking of just the contacts I made.
Sure.
900 million police contacts per year. True percentage of negativity is 0.000013%.
Let that soak in, like you say in the article.
Yeah.
You have close to 1 billion contacts a year in a population of 360 million people.
Yeah.
Close to 1 billion contacts. And the vast majority are positive.
In this year alone, right? We'll just say 2021. My unit. The amount of contacts we make an average of 20 to 25 contacts per week.
Okay.
An average.
That's a good amount.
So during those 3 months, you know how many use of force did we have?
How many? Zero.
You know how many went in handcuffs willingly? Almost all of them. And even the ones that were resistant, we didn't use force. It's just, we used a couple, we got them into the handcuffs and that's it. Yeah. To me, that wasn't a use of force because use of force is very specific on what would happen.
That brings up another thing, right? Remember when that whole changed? When the second that you put your hands on somebody, it was a use of force.
Yeah.
What did that do to the statistic?
Oh, my God.
That's probably skewed that 0.000013. It's probably less now.
Yeah.
Because it's probably including like, I had to grab him by the arms or something like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember when that came out and it became ridiculous. It's like, here's the thing, like to our non-police listeners, a use of force report involves tons of pages of different things you got to check off, boxes, additional reports you need to do. So it takes that officer who put his hand on somebody to arrest him turned it in, that became a use of force because of the new policy.
Yep.
That took them off the streets for the next 3 hours.
Yeah, and what did that do for the data, too, for the areas?
Oh, yeah.
It skewed the whole thing.
Yeah, skewed everything.
Do you remember the racial profiling forms? Did you ever have to do those?
Yes. They stopped that real quick.
You know, they stopped it,
Yeah.
and then our department continued it for years.
Really?
And it was the most asinine thing I could imagine. Like,
Yeah.
I'd get assigned to a certain part of the city that had, like, a large Asian population, right? And if I went and did I did traffic stops, and they were all Asian.
Oh, you're racist.
I'm a racist.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you want me looking for the not Asian people because we're in Chinatown?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Again, it comes back to that. I know better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, you know? So these days, a cop has to deal with a multitude of problems in our society. Most of it has to do with a failed mental health industry, especially after the COVID pandemic. I have personally seen a breakdown in the mental health system, as you have. We were talking about it just the other day.
Yes, sir.
You know, and we are dealing with far more emotionally disturbed persons, EDPs, than before. Especially like in the city I work in, and same thing with you. I mean, we were just talking about that.
Right.
You know, how just the increase in EDPs have skyrocketed.
There's a problem there.
Oh, there is.
And the media is not. All the media has to do is go do a Freedom of Information Act and go see how many reports are being done on this shit.
On EDPs? Oh, my God.
And I, like, on a personal level, I've talked to people at some of these hospitals and all that, and they're telling me the same thing. They're like, a lot of times we're releasing people that should not be released because of the COVID factor, because of the budgeting factor.
And guess who has to deal with them right after? Yeah.
Us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The minute we take them to the hospital, they're already out 5 minutes later doing the same exact thing.
And then you're rolling around on the ground with them.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane, man.
And we know EDPs, like, we take a softer approach with EDPs because we know they can't help whatever they have going on. But at the same time, we have to maintain order. And
you have to protect yourself, too.
You have to protect yourself because certain EDPs are extremely violent. And that's something...
And dangerous.
They can't help it because they're not being properly seen by doctors. They're not getting properly medicated or whatever else the issues that are going on. And that's the thing. Like, you know, I told you, you know, I wrote right in the article. I said, in one day in my city, personally, I had to write 3 sections.
Really?
In one day.
You personally, just you. So there was other officers.
Oh, there are other. Well, my unit, you know, because we were just out doing our thing, but I had to personally do 3.
And you've never done that many Section 12s in a day?
Not in one day. No. Usually, maybe I might do 3 in a month. Maybe.
It's a multitude of reasons, man.
Yeah.
It's the pandemic. It's the issues people are starting to snap.
Yep.
And then it's the lack of care.
Yeah.
Medical care.
Yeah. I mean, here's the police have to wear multiple hats now. We know that. We always said that for years. They have to be social worker. They have to now be a social worker and police officer in less than a second and be able to decide that in a split second whether they're actually dealing with an EDP or a legit evil asshole.
Or somebody that's just having a bad day.
Or somebody having a bad day. We need to have that hat and make that split-second decision on how we're going to react or respond or whatever you want to call it. You know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The anger and hate towards law enforcement is a sign of a society that's falling apart.
You're absolutely right.
That's. I mean, it went back to Vietnam during the Vietnam War era. My God, society was on breakdown,
on fire.
And you know, this causes officers now, when they go get coffee, the officers hypervigilant, even more now. We're already vigilant as is.
I'll make an admission,
even more.
I'm more hypervigilant now. The last 2 years, I would say 3, maybe, off duty.
Yeah, actually, that's the thing. Off duty,
and you know me.
Oh yeah,
I don't dress like a cop. My car doesn't have stickers. Like I am. You think I'm an accountant, right? I get approached so many times by people, and it's fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
And I've never had this in my entire career, and I'm super, super vigilant. I carry a couple extra mags too.
Well, these days you don't know who's targeting you, you know, and the officer. I mean, even going to get food. Now, the only places I go to get food is where they make my food right in front of me. I don't go anywhere else. or I bring stuff from home, and that's it. You know, I can't trust it anymore.
See, I don't have that luxury in fucking on midnights.
Well, you're a friggin' what did you call yourself? A night walker?
Remember when I said that, and I was like, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't be using. It's because I call you people day walkers.
Yeah,
so it just made
you
sense.
People.
I'm not a hooker.
Unbelievable.
I am not a
you
hooker.
People. Everyone heard that. He said you people. Just so you know. I just want to put that out there.
I meant you specifically, asshole.
Well, you know, we're talking about this article, so hey, it fits.
Are you generalizing?
Yeah, exactly. So, are you going to cry now?
I am.
Okay, good. So,
time to party, baby. Let's do
it. So, both law enforcement officers today are getting treated like Vietnam veterans in the 60s. The police have become the enemy of the people. Politicians use officers as scapegoats for their failed laws and policies. Now, I could not find this. I was trying to find it during Eric Garner, you know, the chokehold and all that. And NYPD went to the section of town that you know, fencers were selling cigarettes off, you know, on the side of the road, whatever.
Yeah.
The mayor of New York sent that specific unit, the anti-crime unit, down to take care of this problem. Now, certain units in certain police departments are like, you know, gang units, whatever, SWAT units. They're hammers. If you need something done, if you have a really bad area,
They're the go-tos.
They're the go-tos.
Yeah.
But why would you send a hammer
to something like that?
Something like that.
Failed policies.
But what did the mayor do?
What?
Point his fingers at the police.
Oh, he started blaming the police instead of blaming himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely not going to take the heat. Why would he take the heat?
Well, that's the thing. He didn't want to take the heat because he sent them there. But here's the thing. Like, like I don't know if like it got erased from anywhere. I can't find that article. I found it once.
It probably got wiped.
It probably did get wiped.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very easy to do.
Yeah. So I actually, like, I tried looking for it before this episode, and while I was writing this article, could not find it.
That's a problem, dude.
Yeah.
That's a big... How long ago was Gardner?
I'd say 2012, maybe.
It's not crazy long ago, but it's still 10 years.
Yeah.
But the technology hasn't changed that much.
Nah.
That's a little bit concerning when you think about it, right? Because you remember the article.
Oh, yeah,
it's
I remember.
Not anywhere near. It's not anywhere out there.
Because that's the thing. To me, again, me and you, like,
you having issues with the seat?
This thing, it keeps going down. Your kids ruined it. All right, your kids ruined it.
It's not a weight issue, right?
No. Well, maybe.
See what I did?
Here we go. Let's talk about my way.
So, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So the article gets wiped out. You can't find it anywhere.
Here's the thing. I was going to say, you know, you and me, we read. So I read a lot. You read a lot of articles. We always research. We're always doing shit.
I'm trying to educate myself.
Educate and also laugh. You know, we read funny stuff here and
Right.
there. But when I notice something like that, I will remember it.
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to come back to it later.
Yeah.
And sure enough, this is the point. Oh, I want to come back to it. Let me look for it. Could not find it.
What does that tell you, dude?
No, I know. Because I still remember it.
That tells me you keep calling me tinfoil, but the people that are in charge are fucking bending us to their wills.
Oh, well.
They're bending the narrative.
Tinfoil time. Let's. There it is. There it is. Yeah, no, I get it. And you see it, though. You see it now more than you saw it before. Like, it's amazing with technology, right?
Yep.
2000, even in 2000, information wasn't going out like that, right? There was no Facebook at the time. There wasn't any of that.
No.
You know, you still got your news the old-fashioned way, essentially. You know, newspaper, exactly. And I remember reading multiple newspapers all the time. And you know, fast forward, technology changed and all that stuff. Now social media and algorithms we were talking about, all that stuff, all of a sudden now you're getting bombarded with information.
Immediately.
Whether it's fake, it's a lie.
Yeah.
One side point of view, one-sided point of view, that confirmation bias, the algorithms on Facebook that point you to a certain direction even though you're not there.
So what's that doing? It's flooding you with information.
Yeah.
You're making a decision based on what you're flooded.
Disinformation.
Right. But you're making a decision, whether it's disinformation or not.
Yeah.
You're making a decision on what you're being flooded with.
Yeah.
Because now these days it's a lot harder actually to get rid of anything that goes on the internet.
Yeah.
Like there's crawlers out there. There's
yeah.
like the second that you post something, it's there. The internet is forever.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So I'm a little bit less concerned about that these days.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the information, I'm more concerned about the whole disinformation thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm the same way. That's why it's like it's tough to get real accurate information.
It is.
And when the politicians, I don't know why I keep going back to Bernie Sanders and the shit that he says.
Because it's powerful.
Because it is. When he says, if you disrespect a cop, you will be shot in the back of the head. That goes viral.
The fact that people didn't get up in arms about that comment.
No, they didn't.
Tells me that there's a fucking problem.
The National Fraternal Order of Police, the largest police fraternity in the country, FOP, wrote a letter to him because of that statement and no response from him.
Of course, no response.
Yeah.
That's a problem, you guys. I've been, I'm a firm advocate of it. Speak. Yeah. Speak your minds, speak your truths. Like I say to my kids, right or wrong, as long as you believe in it, get up and speak it.
Yeah.
Because you know what? The Bernie Sanders and the Antifas and all of them are doing that.
What are you talking about? Antifa doesn't exist.
That's a conspiracy too, right?
Yeah.
And isn't that funny how it used to be? And it's like, now it's not.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to turn it around, right? Look at what the media has done with Antifa. They've tried to turn it around to put it on the right side.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, fuckers. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It never was.
No.
Did you see the video, by the way? Oh, my God. It was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. The Antifa kid at a bank, I think it was in New York City. He was spray painting the bank, like fuck pigs, die, whatever, this and that, ACAB or whatever they write. And he decided to crawl up the building.
Oh, boy.
You didn't see this?
No.
Oh, my God.
I gotta find it.
Google this. I mean, if you just Google, like, kid falling off building Antifa, there'll be a million of them. And he falls. He goes up like 30 feet and he falls. And the fucking, the crunch. I did that at first, too. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
But I replayed it and I was like, yes. Glorious. But the first thing he fucking says is, call the police, call the police. And it's like, you fucker.
Yeah.
Really? Call the police? So, like, that went viral.
Yeah.
And it was funny as hell.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that when you see these things, you need to make a mental note and make your own decisions on things that don't make you start crawling up the side of a fucking building.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know.
Right?
I know. It's again, folks, like, know what's out there. Like, really know. I'm not saying know as in click on a couple Facebook articles or whatever and be like, that's it. No. Research. Really research.
I'm a science geek.
Yeah.
You know this. I'm like a big physics geek and all that, right? I'll read an article because, again, Facebook will target me for things. I'll read an article and then I'll go into DuckDuck or Google and all that stuff. And then I'll start reading as much as I can about it. And immediately you find things that will counteract what you're talking about.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
When he was asked, how did he become a rocket expert or something like that, he was asked. He said, oh, I'm not an expert. I just read books.
I read books. I know. I remember that.
You know,
right.
So it's that easy.
You can apply yourself.
You can apply yourself. If you truly want to learn what law enforcement's all about, read. Ask.
Come talk to us. Email us, do whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I have no problem talking to people as long as it's an operational security thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to give things up. I have no problem talking to people and telling them how things work.
Well, I mean, I told you the other day of this young high schooler that actually approached me.
Yeah.
Because of the show. He listens to our show, and he's thinking of becoming a cop in the future. And
you tell him to become a fireman?
Yeah. Well, I again, like, I didn't show him it was all unicorns and rainbows.
Yep.
And he said that's what he loves about the show. He says we talk about the real shit behind the scenes.
We're not fluff.
It's not. This job takes a certain person. Certain type of person.
And I'm sure you went into things like, the 95% boredom and 5% panic and all that shit.
No, I went over all that from physical fitness to nutrition to
everything.
Every aspect.
Yeah.
The backstabbing, the freaking 80-20 split.
Let me ask you something. Did you get anything out of that? No.
No.
You have a kid that comes to you he's looking to get into law enforcement. Again, I'd probably tell him to become a firefighter.
Well, it's kind of like me joining the Army. I should have gone Air Force.
Your life would have been so much better.
Oh, my God.
Less stress.
I can go have a latte with the Air Force.
MRE with a latte.
Yeah.
But like, think about, that gives me a little hope, Ayman.
Yeah.
That gives me a little hope because that tells me that kid, he's 18 years old, he's aware.
Yeah.
He's aware of what's going on.
He seemed very smart, very in tune, researches, studies, like.
And in today's environment, you probably in your department, from federal down, we're having issues hiring.
Oh, my God.
And finding the right people.
It's a nightmare. I was just talking about SWAT selection.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep. Some of the things you just told me, let's not get into the details, but I was like, oh, my God.
It's telling, though.
It is a tell.
Where you have a selection process where you're supposed to be the tip of the spear, and you're like, no, that's tip of the spork.
Tip of the spork, baby.
We are going to make that into a patch.
We definitely are.
But that's what we're getting.
Yeah.
You know, the seasoned veterans of you know what's funny? It reminds me of the Army, right? When I was forced out, medically discharged, right? At the time, it was the drawdown, and we're going to lower our numbers. So the Army and military started chaptering out injured soldiers.
Yeah.
Not like, you know, really badly injured, but, you know, if you have a back pain, yeah, you're out. We don't need you anymore. So what you're doing is taking seasoned veterans out of the picture.
Yep.
And in putting new people that really have no idea what they're doing, and they look to the veterans to learn the job.
Right.
Same thing's happening in policing. The politicians are driving out. Actually, I read today, Portland PD, highest quitting rate ever. Over 100 cops have quit, walked out of that job. During their exit interviews, they let the city have it.
As they should.
As they should.
Now, this is without this whole qualified immunity thing. We talked about it on, what's Merritt's podcast?
Brownie Blue.
Brownie Blue. We just did an interview with him, right?
Yeah, great guy. By the way.
Amazing guy. And you guys, it's a great show. You should check it out. Brownie Blue. We talked about qualified immunity.
Yeah.
Right now, that's a concept.
Yeah.
Getting rid of qualified immunity. It hasn't really taken shape except in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
Where you see what happened in New York City. That's starting to come out. And we have friends that are in New York City and are telling us a lot of these cops are going, fuck this.
Yeah. Walking out.
And in a way, I don't blame them.
Oh, no, I don't either.
You know, because we've said it, like, we'll do our job and hold the line, right? Defund me, I'll do my job. But at the same time, how am I expected to do my job if I'm in fucking jail or my house gets taken away for bogus shit?
Well, again, like, just the listeners know, I know we explained it on Merritt's show, but qualified immunity does not mean you're immune to illegal activity. It does not mean that at all.
Let's make it clear.
Let's make that clear. It does not mean that at all.
From the beginning of policing, if you've done something illegal,
you're
if
going to
your
jail.
Actions are illicit, you're going to jail.
Yeah, you're going to jail, and it's even worse as a cop.
You're 10 times better.
You get maximum sentences.
We're held to a different standard.
Exactly, as we should.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, as we should.
The reason, again, for our listeners, the reason qualified immunity came about was because you had all these opportunists that were getting placed in handcuffs, and they were like, "Ooh, my wrist got scratched. Let me sue." Right? And so the Supreme Court, in its glory, said, and it was brilliant of them. They said, it's going to destroy our court system.
Yeah.
If people have a legitimate complaint, then we're going to listen to it.
Yeah.
But we need to blanket this. What I said in the show was the word immunity.
Yeah.
That reduction of friction, right? Yeah. That word immunity has reduced the friction in people's minds. They don't have to think about it. They hear immunity and they're like, cops can do whatever they want.
You know what I think they're thinking of? Diplomatic immunity.
You know, you're right.
You know what? That's what I think they're thinking of.
You're totally right. As simple as that sounds, you're totally right.
Yeah, that's what I think people really think.
They're associating the two.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I've never in my entire career gone into it and been like, I have immunity.
Yeah. And like I said, qualified immunity is protecting the cop from, let's say, again, like example, with me doing CPR on somebody, I crack a couple
Breaking
ribs.
a rib, which you're going to.
If you're really doing compressions, you are going to either crack or break a rib. That's the reality of it.
Now, here's the thing, right? If you're doing CPR on somebody and you crack a rib, and then you start punching the guy in the fucking face for no reason.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You're not going to get up and be like, I have qualified immunity.
No, you're going to jail.
You're going to jail.
Probably for murder because you cracked a rib and then you kept punching the guy in the face.
If you've done something wrong,
like even back in 10, 15 years ago when I was first getting on the job with qualified immunity and everything, cops were, bad cops were still getting indicted.
Of course.
For doing horrendous things. Like I remember this friggin' drug trafficking organization that had cops that was running drugs from Miami
to Boston.
I remember that. And it's like, this is when I sort of was first on the job and all that stuff, and it was like,
wow,
but hey, fuck you. Yeah, you're going to jail.
And it was rightfully so.
Yeah, that's not qualified immunity.
That's not qualified immunity.
They can't deal drugs and be like, I'm immune.
For people that don't realize it, and tell me if I'm wrong, what getting rid of qualified immunity will do is when Ayman pulls somebody over, again, Ayman's having trouble with the seat. When Ayman pulls someone over, right, and they get a ticket, because right or wrong, right, you can fight the ticket, whatever, but they get a ticket, they're going to call the police department, they're going to complain, or they can walk right into court and start charges on you.
Yeah. Civil suit.
And so the Supreme Court said the caseload, they were already seeing it, the caseload is strangling the court.
Oh, it already is.
It already is with bogus shit. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. Like we said, it happens.
Yeah.
When qualified immunity goes away, the caseload is going to skyrocket. And it's going to create such a strain on the court systems.
And guess what? That court date that you're supposed to have for a real legitimate reason is now 2-3 years away.
The murder trial, the guy's going to be sitting being an expense to the state.
Yeah. Housed, fed,
probably put on parole.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or let out until his trial date.
Yeah.
How many of those have you seen recently?
Oh, well,
recognizance.
Tons.
Like you get a $20,000 initial bail, and then you get like a $400 fucking court fee. Reduced.
Current thing that happened in my city, a guy got locked up for child pornography, and he's already out on personal recog. Because
the court doesn't want to do what? They don't want to deal with it right now?
I think with COVID restrictions and whatever other shit that's going on, they don't want to deal with it.
Now imagine, I would say another 100 frivolous cases would come this month from the release of qualified immunity.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to keep this predator on the street for another 3 months.
Yeah. Even longer. Depends on when he gets to the next court date.
Be careful what you ask for, people.
Yeah. And that's the big thing. Silent majority is great, but it's not great because turning a blind eye to the real issues that is going on is not going to help it.
It's not.
You are allowing those forces that are driving this train continue to drive it. And I truly believe the pendulum is going to swing our way at some point.
At some point it will.
Society is going to realize how stupid they were.
Yeah.
And how much damage they've caused. They're going to have to undo a lot. Again, we just went back 40 years as a law enforcement.
Oh, we did.
Maybe longer, 50 years.
We totally did.
All these new policies and laws that are coming out against police are 50 years into the future to unravel.
I was saying it to a friend of ours the other day. People don't really realize what they're asking for.
No.
They don't realize what's going to happen.
Yep.
And I've been known to be a little doom and gloom, right? But I don't think I am in this circumstance because we've seen it on the street. Criminals are getting very ballsy.
Oh, yeah, they are.
They're getting very ballsy. So when's the tipping point? When is the pendulum going to decide to swing back? When property values start fucking decreasing? When?
When a politician's kid gets hurt.
I don't even think then it will, dude.
I mean, you know how it works. I mean, someone senator slips on the sidewalk. Now it becomes law that you have to clean the sidewalk in front of your house. It's like,
right.
That's when shit happens.
I don't know, Ayman. It could be the doom and gloom in me. I just think that we're in for a fucking rough ride, dude.
Oh, for a while we're going to be in for a rough ride.
But like we said in Merritt's show, guys like you and I and the majority of the cops that we know, we are going to hold the fucking line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean there are some. I mean, like, unfortunate guys in my unit are awesome. They are go-getters. They work.
Right.
No questions asked. No whatever. They love the fact that I tell them arrest people, please. Like, somebody mouths off to you and they deserve handcuffs. Put them in handcuffs.
It's just sad, man,
because we are that line.
We are that line. We're as cheesy as it sounds. We're the line between order and chaos.
Yeah.
And when you remove the line, it's kind of like a kid, right? I'm in like. Yeah. Don't touch the pot. Don't touch the pot. Don't touch the pot. It's hot.
Mm-hmm.
And they still going to fucking touch it.
How many times have we seen it in Hollywood, right? Let's get into a little fantasy world type shit where there is a wall that's blocking good people. Like, actually, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Right? Right over that wall, over the mountains, whatever, that's where all the evil is, and they can't let them cross over that wall. Therefore, the soldiers are fighting right at that wall.
Right. We're at that wall.
We're at that wall.
People don't realize it, man. You're not going to like it. If that wall comes down.
Oh, good luck.
You're not going to fucking like it. The one good thing that I can say is that we will be there to fight, but there's only so much that we can do.
Well, again, like I said, though, just like with the Army, the seasoned veterans are getting burnt out at such a high rate. Same thing's happening in law enforcement.
Yeah.
They're getting burnt out. There are so many awesome guys that I know that have retired because they just can't do it anymore.
And we're not,
and they're aggressive. They're not that 80% I talk about. No, they're part of that 20%. They're still out there kicking in the doors and doing what they're doing.
Right. Protectors. Warriors.
Exactly. But they stopped.
Of course they are.
They're like, you know what? I'm going to go enjoy my retirement from now. I'm out of here.
Well, I will be the protector up until it starts breaking me. I mean, I'm already broken from everything I've done in my career, right?
Yeah.
But at what point, again, I have to protect my family.
Yes.
Ayman has to protect his family.
Yep.
At what point are we going to say, fuck it, let it burn?
Yeah.
Right? At what point you keep telling the kid, don't touch it, it's hot. Don't touch it, it's hot. They don't listen. Let them touch it.
Yeah. Well, again, I think society, being that little kid that's touching it, is realizing it's burning.
Do you think they're realizing it? I don't think they realize it.
Little
Tiny
by
bit.
little.
It's tickling them a little bit.
I'm starting to see it on the streets during the day. Again, I'm not a night walker. During the day.
I'm getting kind of proud of the fucking thing.
During the day, I'm starting to see a little more support coming.
Yeah.
You know, like
dribbles.
Little dribbles here and there. People realizing certain stuff we're doing. Where I'm starting to see it.
You might see it because you're on days.
Yeah. I'm starting to see it. And
I don't.
Well, that's what happens when you become a vampire and stay at the mids. Anyways.
Fucking awesome, dude. Well, guys, listen, this was an awesome episode. I mean, I love this article. I totally love this article. We hit a lot. You hit a lot of points on it. We hit a lot of points on the street.
I am smart at times.
It's not easy. Easy. Guys, listen, please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps. Smash the like button, as we hear all the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
HavokJournal.com, GymJunkies.com, VectorShields.com, WellnessForWarriors.live, LiveBoston617.org, EagleEyeFirearmsMA.com. We love you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for getting the word out there. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, rock on, everyone.